cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
FF episode 2030. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, for the show that is called, wait for it, Mike's Daily Podcast. I timed that perfectly. Hey, it's been an interesting couple days. I should have brought a podcast to you yesterday's. But hey, I had to, let's see, deal with things. I went on a walk. I have no excuse. I just blew it off. I blew off my I got interrupted, so Mike's Daily Podcast. Hopefully you will provide me a little bit of understanding. So today's show, Mike's, will feature daily interesting things. Podcast to talk about. Yeah! Let's see. What's one of them? I'm feverishly looking for something to talk about. I have to tell you something because it is a podcast and I bring it to you daily and I have to have something for you. Isn't it fun running into people you haven't seen in a long time? Oh, this is the big thing. Apparently, in the Bay Area, we are going to have such horrible traffic now. Here's why. Because we are all going to be in cars. And we're not going to commute. We're going to do everything that we did in the 70s to get the smog levels as high as possible. We're going to all be in our own car. Our cars are going to get bigger. And they're going to put out more methane and carbon dioxide. No, wait, that's not going to happen. They're still small cars. And we still have a lot of electric cars. And we have a lot of the hybrids. But now, we're all going to be driving separately because we're all afraid of getting sick. Because now we're all a bunch of germ-phobes. Because we've been conditioned to do that now. We've been conditioned to be germ-phobes here in America. And in the world. The United States of germ-phobes. So we're driving separately in our cars and
here's today's podcast picture.
I had to pause because Ariel had to say, here's today's podcast picture. And now I'm going to tell it to you. It's in Heron Bay in San Leandro. I think there was a dynamite factory there. Apparently there were a lot of dynamite factories around the bay in the San Francisco Bay Area. So this is San Leandro, named after Saint Leandro. Leanne? Something like that. And then this picture was taken 4 years ago. I was with this guy, Basil the Boxer, back when he could walk. We were over there enjoying a beautiful cloudy day. 4 years ago, let's see, I was still producing Rob Black's show and waking up at the crack of dawn. So I was probably pretty tired. But we went on this beautiful, nice clouds and everything. See that picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com, won't you? So yes, we are going to be all in our cars. We're going to be afraid to take public transportation, which booyah for me because, and yes, I brought back an expression from 10 years ago, booyah. Then I'm going to get on the BART and no one's going to be on it except for the really wacky, crazy, nutty, wow type Bay Area people. So I guess I am part of that crowd now. And then, except I don't smoke the marijuana. Sorry. You can partake in that for me. I'm not going to. I don't need it. Never have done it. Don't want it. Yes, I know there's medicinal purposes. Yes. It probably even helped my dog if I gave it to him. Some people have said. Although he's really past that point. But a lot of dogs that have had bad joint issues, apparently with the CBD oil, it helps them. Anywho, back to this story. But don't consult your local pet vet person first. So we're going to all be in our cars. The smog's going to get crazy. The traffic's going to be horrible. Remember a couple podcasts ago I told you about people speeding on the freeways because the traffic was so minimal just a few weeks ago? Actually, probably just even last week because we were still doing the shelter in place. And the cars were zooming, people going above 100 miles an hour, flying down the road. So Caltrans had to do some stuff to make the cars go slower by putting stuff in the way of the roadways to slow people down. But that's just crazy to me because people already, as I've mentioned, drive crazy here in the Bay Area. I've told countless stories about things that have happened to me. Now they're going to be, well, now the traffic's coming back, so that will eliminate that problem, or potentially eliminate that problem. And we'll be back to some sort of normalcy there. Oh, yes, now I see what I was going to talk about. So, that story my lovely lady friend and I relayed to you last show about the Russians getting pushed out of windows. I think they were possibly jumping out of windows. Did I miss the subtext of that article? At any rate, I bring up that story because that story is gone. That story was there for half a second. It only got noticed and picked up by Bing, which, by the way, if you use Bing, it's kind of cool because you then get to get points. So that's my plug. My slug is, it's very... I've got this one Bing account that suddenly my points disappear. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the best thing. At any rate, Google doesn't give you points for doing searches. But Bing also has this news engine, and they show you news stories. And I've found that it's really news stories. Of course, that's tailored to you because they see what you click on. But also, it has to be the shortest, most sensationalist, most shocking headlines to grab your attention. And as I read that article on the last podcast, you probably noticed that there was no resolution in the story. All it did was give you a bunch of sensationalistic highlights and not give you any closure, give you no conclusion, and not let you know anything else. It was just, this is some crazy, wacky thing. Russians with coronavirus falling out of windows for whatever reason, being pushed or jumping, and what they don't give any explanation other than that. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley today, and that's not acceptable in journalism. Should we blame all of journalism for doing that? No, but it is definitely a problem, and it's part of what you experience every day when you're looking at stories on the internet. I wish there was this way. There is a way, but it's kind of complicated. You have to find the email address, which can be very difficult to do. Sometimes the news stories, of the people writing these news stories, sometimes it's easy. Sometimes right at the bottom of the news story, you can click, say something like, this story sucks or whatever, but then you have to give your name and your email address and all that. It'd be nice to just give feedback to these people and say no, or just don't click on those stories at all. But as in the case with the one that I read, I wanted to know the conclusion and it was not there. So I got suckered into it. So anyway, that's the type of news story you should avoid because it leaves you no satisfaction, leaves you no knowledge. And you need knowledge in this world to survive, to feel like a human being, to feel like a healthy, happy human being. You need knowledge. You need closure. You need stories that have an ending, that have some kind of meaning behind it. If I understand, if the world that is painted by Northern Exposure is true, the Native American cultures that live in Alaska use stories to heal people. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it is loosely based on something, but I like that idea of stories healing people because I think they do. And I think that concepts and ideas, there could be healthy concepts and ideas and thoughts that we should ruminate on instead of the bad ones and the shocking ones and the sensationalist ones and the ones that you see all the time on the most of TV, and your local news even partakes in that. So I hate that and I don't like it. So steer clear of that is my suggestion. It's bad internet. Oh, sad news today. Sweet Pea Atkinson. What a voice. He was the singer from the band Was Not Was. He sings on the song Open the Door, Get on the Floor, Everybody Do the Dinosaur. That was a big hit like in the late 80s. And he also sang with Lyle Lovett. I saw him in concert at the Greek Theater. Blew me away. Lyle let him do like a couple of have some minutes singing. He sang a couple songs by himself, and his voice was just so soulful and amazing. And then he did some stuff with Bonnie Raitt and a bunch of different artists, just amazing. And he has passed away. I think he had a heart attack. He was 74. So, boy, sad to see him go. And I was so happy that I got to see him perform long ago. Hey, we're outside a cafe anyway, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley today, the last place on earth. Who's out here? I'm very fascinated to know. Oh, yes, here they are. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
She's not as shouty as she usually is today.
Oh, okay. Well, it's nice you stopped by. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Jolly Stewart, gift shop supervisor. Oh my gosh, Mike Matthews. Wasn't I on the last show?
You might have been. Let's just bring everybody else here. Who else is here?
Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, I think we're all here. So is this guy. Hello there, Mike. And John Deere and Floyd the Floorman, Shelley Shoehart, Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and everybody. Well, I'm Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Everybody's here for the special occasion of May the 7th. I don't think anything is May the 7th. Has that got any importance to it? Let's see. It's the day of the Gregorian calendar. It's nothing. Okay. I guess you're a Taurus. Not a tortoise, but a Taurus. Congratulations. That's also Childhood Depression Awareness Day. Oh, that's good. Depression. Lots of things I've learned about depression lately, and that is... we have a lot of myths surrounding depression. And you should not be ashamed to be depressed. There's ways to deal with it, and you should see a professional. And a lot of people have it, and the current times in which we live accentuate it, so make sure to get in control of that or have some help for that. It's also National Barrier Awareness Day. What? Isn't it just you are aware of barriers? How do you need to be made aware of barriers? I'm not sure exactly. Okay, there you go. That's what today was. Next show, it's going to be... Gosh, everybody's here today, so I don't know. Well, maybe we'll bring back Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. How about that? Oh, we didn't have the Brewmaster.
Hello, Mike. I make the loose root beer. Have some right now. Oh, boy.
That was good. So he came in real quick, gave us some root beer, and then he left.
Drink it right now, or I'll cut you. Oh, boy.
Next show, things will happen. Thanks for listening to FF episode 2030. Thanks. Oh, tell me what you think about any of the wonderful topics we covered today. You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast will pretty much is. Once in a while I get, punctuated. Maybe that's not the right word. Interrupted. That's right. That's right. Okay. Take us out.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!